So Ruthie, what are you doing?
Just entertaining myself, looking at some of these profiles on Tinder. Too bad most of them are scams.
Like, what? Can you show me one you think is a scam?
Yep, look at this one. Guy should be in GQ. You wouldn't think a guy who looks like him would need to be on Tinder.
Yeah, I've heard guys say the same thing about a lot of chicks who are on there. Someone that good looking wouldn't have any problem attracting guys.
Tell me about it. If I had $1 for every time some guy hit on me, I could retire.
Yeah, pretty much the same for me. So that one you're looking at. What does it say?
Guy says he wants an old-fashioned girl, wants to settle down, have kids, blah, blah, blah. Also says he makes $120K a year and owns his own home.
You don't think he's legit? What makes you think he's fake?
I've just seen too many guys like him. The last thing they want is to settle down. If they did, they wouldn't be looking for a wife on what's basically considered a hookup app.
True. That's the main reason I've never used it. Guys are just on there looking for someone to sleep with. Not my style.
Me either. I just installed it out of curiosity after watching a video about all of the scammers on there, so I wanted to take a look for myself and see what kind of buttheads are on the app.
I imagine there's no shortage of those.
Well, there's no shortage of them in everyday life either. That's one of the main reasons I don't normally go to bars. I'm not into hooking up, and definitely not going to look for a husband in a place like that. If I do go to a bar, it's usually with you girls. I feel much safer in a group, and I just go to socialize with y'all, not to meet some dude.
We definitely think alike. I never go to bars, period. But I may go with your group sometime just to socialize.
You're more than welcome to tag along. Oh, by the way, let me play this video for you. It's really good. Also, you'll probably learn some things you didn't know. I definitely did.
Okay. Play on.
In general, bots and scammers are looking for a few different things from their victims. The first is financial gain. This can be as direct as literally taking money from your account, or as indirect as using your credit card or social security information to defraud you, opening accounts in your name and racking up charges. Number 2. Malicious software or ads. If a user, or more likely, a bot, is sending you links online, it's likely that they're trying to get you to click on something to load advertisements and other unwanted content. At best, this is a way for these users to make a quick buck off people clicking on links with ads. At worst, these links can ask for your personal information, download content to your phone, and more. Since Tinder is a mobile-only app, you're likely to avoid running into these sorts of issues, though it is possible that you could accidentally download dangerous APKs on an Android phone that has been rooted. Next is emotional damage. This one might sound strange, but some users who create fake accounts do it with the infliction of some sort of emotional damage as the goal. Often this is someone who has been hurt in relationships and decides to take revenge on the gender that they perceive as having wronged them. Others are more random, just wanting to hurt other people. Online harassment happens all the time to people who live their lives on the web. If someone is harassing you, unmatch them on Tinder. The other side of emotional damage can come from those who are looking to gather dirt on someone, to coerce them into doing or saying something embarrassing or potentially damaging to their personhood or credibility. This doesn't happen too often, but it essentially is a form of emotional blackmail, and it's incredibly dangerous. There are other things to watch out for on Tinder, but overall, most troublesome accounts online will fall into one of these 3 categories. By no means does the above mean you should avoid using Tinder, however. Financial dangers and malicious software are an everyday part of being a technology user in the 21st century, and while bullying and emotional damage are largely social and dating-based risks, the same kind of threat can occur on Facebook or Instagram. So instead of giving up on online dating altogether, or worse, giving up on the internet and moving to a log cabin, you should make sure you're always vigilant about internet security while simultaneously keeping an eye out for the signs that someone is after your personal information or attempting to fool you. There are a number of common scams that bad actors attempt to execute on Tinder. Here are some of them. The verification code scam. This scam is easy to spot. The bot or catfish. And it can be either one. Chats with you for a bit, then tells you that for their own safety, they want you to verify your Tinder account. This isn't an impossible request. You can in fact verify your Tinder account if you are a celebrity or public figure by sending an email. However, ordinary Tinder users can't verify their accounts, and even if they could, this scammer doesn't want you to do that. Instead, they give you a link that looks Tinder-related, but in fact takes you to their phishing site where they get your personal information, possibly even your credit card number. Luckily, the scam is obvious. Anyone asking you to verify your Tinder account is trying to scam you. The link scam. Also easy to spot. The linker wants you to email them, or go to their cam page, or go to their personal website. It doesn't matter what they say, they just want you to click on their virus-laden malware link. Obviously, don't do that. Nobody on Tinder for a legitimate reason is ever going to send you to a link. Ever. The blackmail scam. This one is much trickier. The blackmailer is never a bot, it's always a catfish, because they are trying to build a genuine rapport with you. They want you to trust them and to view them as a potential romantic partner. To that end, they will spend days talking with you and building a connection. Their goal, however, is not to have a relationship. It is to get you to do or say something incriminating. Their favorite target is married people who are on Tinder looking for something on the side, but anyone can be the subject of the scam. Married people are just the easiest targets. They get compromising screenshots of the conversation, or solicit sexually explicit photographs, and then threaten to take those photos public or to contact the wife, husband, or partner of their victim with the screenshots unless they get paid. There are a few different defenses to this scam. The obvious one is not to do or say anything incriminating on Tinder. In general, do not send anything to a Tinder match that you wouldn't post to your own Facebook page. Generally, the blackmailer is not going to be willing to meet in person, so if you've started seeing someone in the real world, you are less susceptible to this particular scam. But not immune. The venue scam. This one is both clever and mean. The venue scammer is someone who has been hired to promote a bar, club, restaurant, or other public venues. They catfish dozens or hundreds of people at the same time and chat with all of them in a flirtatious and charming manner. Then, they ask for an in-person meeting. The victim of the scam is delighted, of course, and agrees to come to the XYZ club at 9 p.m. on Tuesday, or whatever. Only to discover when they arrive that there is an absolute crowd of people, all or many of whom were lured in by the scammer. The robbery scam. The robbery scam takes things to a new level. It's a variant of the venue scam. The catfisher charms the pants off of the victim and solicits a date. When the victim arrives at the scene, they find a gang of thugs instead of their partner, and they get robbed. And only robbed if they're lucky. This is relatively easy to defend against. Just don't meet anywhere other than a public place with lots of people around. A warning sign will be someone who wants to meet with you after suspiciously little interaction and insists that it be at their hotel room or a dark parking lot somewhere. The long con. Possibly the cleverest and most paranoia-inducing of all Tinder scammers. The long con is a term used by hustlers and con artists to describe a long-term operation against a particular person. The scammer is not trying to get anything from the victim right away, or even in the near future. Instead, they are collecting information and laying the groundwork for a much larger scheme. For example, a real person may build a relationship with you on Tinder for weeks or even months. They may go out on dates with you. They may actually have a relationship with you. More commonly, they just want to have a lot of meaningful deep conversations with you. Conversations in which they find out a lot about you as a person. Things like where you went to school and what jobs you've had and where you've lived. All of this is part of a larger con aimed at getting access to your identity or your assets if you are a wealthy person. The best defense here is to be poor, but failing that, be very careful about who you let into your life. Key signs to watch out for. As previously stated, bots and fake accounts are two different things, and each has their own way of trying to fool you into giving up information on yourself. In general, bots are much easier to identify than fake accounts created and run by real humans. Because a bot can only respond with certain comments and scripted messages, most basic Tinder bots are easy to spot immediately. Particularly once you've encountered a given bot already and can recognize its scripted dialogue. Fake accounts are much harder since they will reply as real people, giving actual human answers to the questions you ask. Of course, both users typically give off some signs we can use to identify their accounts, and thanks to the tools built into Tinder, we can take responsibility into our own hands. Here's a look at the key signs for both bots and fake accounts. Bots. First things first. A standard Tinder bot isn't exactly the smartest program in the world. Bots and AI components have reached new heights of ability, but the high-functioning bots are typically developed by large corporations with a lot of money to spend on pushing the envelope forward. For example, you'll likely be hard-pressed to find a bot on Tinder that is anywhere as capable as Google's Assistant platform or some of the messenger bots developed by Facebook. In general, bots on Tinder were developed to automatically send a few messages, typically leading to dangerous links, and nothing more. These bots clearly manage to fool some users, but generally speaking, most internet-literate users have the capabilities to identify them. Still, here are some key tells when it comes to identifying these bots. Sexed up photos on their account. There's nothing wrong with showing a little skin on Tinder, and having a picture of you in a sweater next to a picture of you on a beach is totally acceptable. But if all or most of the photos on an account are nearly pornographic, there's a good chance that the user isn't a real person at all, but a stolen identity from Google Images and attached to a bot. Swipe left on these accounts. The accounts are almost always displaying female photos. Bots on Tinder generally target men, who are more likely to swipe right to a sexed-up account than women are to a sexed-up male account. A lot of bots will also only include a single photo since it's much more difficult to fake multiple images on an account. Missing data in their profile. Before you swipe right, read over their profile. If their profile is suspicious in any way, swipe left. Broken grammar and poor spelling are a tell, but more likely, you'll notice missing information or strange text that doesn't quite make sense. Since bots often get banned from Tinder, their creators typically don't put a lot of effort into the profile, copying and pasting again and again from a short form. Short conversations. If you do swipe right on an account that is run by a bot, you'll likely immediately receive at least a single message. Sometimes multiple messages can come in at once, but smarter bots will wait for you to reply to the first greeting message before spamming you with the rest of their messages. Not only will these messages make little sense in the context of what you send to the user, but these messages will likely end after the scripted messages are sent, and your conversation will come to a close. Leading to a malicious link. Though some bots may be designed to get you to reveal some sort of information, generally speaking, that's a bit too complicated for an actual bot to manage to do. Since the bot can only reply with pre-made messages, naturally getting you to reveal some sort of information is more in the wheelhouse of a fake account. Typically, their messages lead to a link that can be dangerous or misleading. The link sent in your messages is often preceded by messages promising photos of the user, or a link to their address in the area. Obviously, don't click the link. Newer bots might also invite you to look at a social profile, on Instagram or Snapchat, or give you a phone number to contact. Again, you should avoid these users, especially if they fail the above tests. Overall, 99% of the bots you encounter are going to make these same mistakes again and again. Technology just isn't at the point where a single user can develop a nuanced, intelligent bot capable of recreating human speech patterns without a team of developers with a cash flow behind them or dedicating hundreds of hours to creating the bot. It simply isn't worth a bot developer to spam Tinder with that kind of technology when these bots are typically banned quickly, so looking for the above signs will let you know what you're dealing with and what to avoid. Fake accounts. Fake accounts, on the other hand, are much harder to spot without paying attention. While bots might be simplistic computer programs with faults and easy-to-spot tendencies, a real person pretending to be someone they aren't is still going to seem like a real person, no matter what you do. Fake accounts run by real people can make up false information in their profile, stealing images from people they know in real life or find on Google Images. Thanks to the ability to search for similar images, you can put together a profile with real images of people fairly quickly. These fake users can give real replies to your questions, complete with human emotion, emojis, correct spelling and grammar, and everything else that will convince you to believe it's a real person. Catfishing has become such a major issue that plenty of people have been fooled. In addition to the documentary and the subsequent television show from which the term is derived, professional football player Monte Te'o received major coverage in and out of the world of sports in 2013 after it was revealed that the girlfriend he thought had died was actually a fake account, a person Te'o knew in real life who had fooled him into believing the person he met online was a long-distance girlfriend. Acknowledging that these things happen is important, as is the process of approaching them with caution. If you think you may be dealing with a fake account, here are some signs that will help you identify whether you're correct, and help you as you move through Tinder in the future. Missing or strange information in their bio. We already listed this for the bots section, but this happens to be one of the few crossover elements you may actually notice between bots and fake accounts. Fake users have a habit of listing information that doesn't quite seem to add up. While they may list a real bio, there's just as good of a chance that something seems off about what they've published. If you read through their bio, but something seems fishy. Say, they went to the same high school as you but you don't recognize them, or they list something as a hobby but then ignore questions you ask about that hobby. Report or unmatch the account and move on. Blank social profiles. You need to have a Facebook profile in order to use Tinder, no ifs, ands, or buts. But more importantly, Tinder allows you to insert some of your social network connections into the app to properly sync your content. Most importantly, you can sync photos from Instagram using the plugin, which displays your Instagram collection below your profile. It's difficult to fake a full Instagram account, especially one that's fully active, so looking for profiles that have an active social account added to the app may be a good idea. You can also look for Spotify in their profile, as a Spotify connection is another good sign the person is who they say they are. Lack of in-person contact. Unfortunately, sometimes you may be fooled into talking with someone for days across Tinder, only to slowly realize their actions have become strange. Is the person refusing to meet up with you in person, or won't commit to a Skype or phone call? Those can be some serious signs that something isn't right. If you're concerned about this, make sure to ask your Tinder match for some kind of confirmation that they are who they say they are. This can be anything, though you should try to make sure that how you communicate is live. Invite them to a FaceTime call, or push to set up your first coffee date. Whatever you do, make sure it's in person or involves a live video feed of the person. If they refuse, stop communicating and contact Tinder. Google image search. It is shockingly easy to find photos of people online, especially when libraries of content are uploaded to social media each day. A fake account can be loaded with pictures of a single person while still remaining fake. If you're concerned the person isn't who they say they are, save one or more of their photos to your device and search for the image on Google reverse image search. While you may find nothing, there's also a chance you'll come across a whole album of photos of the person that have been stolen online to create a fake persona. Definitely bail on the account you've been matched with, and consider reporting the user. Fake accounts are, without a doubt, harder to spot than their bot brethren, but with a bit of patience and attention, you should be able to keep a close eye on your account and who you're matched with, capable of looking at a name and photos and being able to discern whether or not the account is fake. As always, err on the side of caution with this. It's better to miss out on a romantic match with someone who seems fake than to fall into the trap of chatting and giving up personal information with somebody malicious. No one is going to be able to avoid every scammer, bot, or fake account online, and Tinder is no exception. As with any online dating site, scammers are going to use the site to try to benefit their bottom line, earning them cash, personal data, or some kind of gratification along the way. This comes with the territory of participating in online communities, but thankfully, unmatching and reporting accounts on Tinder help to put an end to their fun. Tinder isn't a place without harassment or dangerous users, but it is a place where you can feel safer than a bar or a club to meet people. Screen people effectively, always use caution, and generally be vigilant when it comes to looking at people that may not be who they say they are. Generally speaking, you'll likely find that the majority of people you find on Tinder to be real humans. Not that you don't have to watch out for the humans as well. Not bots or scammers. Still, being cautious is the best way to go, both on Tinder and the web in general.
Wow, that was interesting. Even though I don't use Tinder myself, I can still pass the information on to friends and family.
I have a lot of friends with daughters of dating age, so I forwarded the video link to them so they could warn their kids of the dangers that are out there. Also, people watching Kevin's video can also do the same. Hey folks, thanks for watching.